Many local authorities are failing abysmally. They've run out of money, so they're gathering up the high value children, the highest value to an adoption agency, so that they can sell them abroad and they can keep those profits. Some of them have investments and shares in these organisations and these adoption agencies, fostering agencies. And a lot of the child trafficking is going from the UK abroad, not coming in. In order to access your children and put them into social care, some social services have deployed a new weapon. They're having people from national charities going around the schools encouraging children to tell stories about how they interact with their parents, what kind of things their parents are saying and doing, what kind of programs do they watch, what kind of people do they know, have they said anything about gay people, black people, anything. And this is how they are catching entrapment, it's called, but this is how they are catching parents and accusing them and getting them into a court. Because these people are organising these classes in school classes in such a way that children are encouraged to participate. Has your dad ever touched you? That's sexual assault. Well, even if he just did, yes, that's sexual assault. Send the police round, get the parents, have a man arrested for trivial, stupid things you would not believe. One guy changing his wee baby's nappy. This is how bad it actually gets. The whole thing is geared to tear families apart and steal the children and sell them to adoption agencies. And the methods they're doing are very akin to what happened in the 1930s. But this is what they do. They encourage children to tell tales, true or otherwise. Let me tell you how easy it is to manipulate a child. There's an experiment that was done. I believe it was called the Bobo doll. It was one of those inflatable toys that you could push it over and it stands up vertically again. And the adult walked into the room, said lots of nasty things to this doll and beat it and hit it. And when she went out of the room, the child did exactly the same. The most classic one, when we talk about children being manipulated, the most classic case that I can remember, I always remember, is when a woman halfway through a sentence on the phone, she turned to a little boy in the background and she said, "Did this lady kick you in the head?" And she said, "Yes." "Did she lock you in a dog kennel with that big dog?" He said, "Yes." When she came back to the phone, she says, "That woman I'm talking about is his nana. They love each other to bits and she doesn't even have a dog." That's how easy it is to manipulate a child. And that shocked me. That little boy agreed with everything his mum said. That's what other parents are up against when one of the parents is saying things like that about them. Candace Owen said during an inquiry, the biggest problem for black Americans today is absent fathers. And I would agree with that. One of the reasons why Glasgow turned into the murder capital of Europe and the most violent city in Europe was because they had generations following one after another of fathers who were detached. Yes, many were absent, but they were detached. That's the word we have to use. One of the reasons being because their generation of fathers, one generation of fathers were sent away to fight. They missed the most important years of the child, the young children growing up. They came back, they were detached, they were traumatised, they were suffering from what was called shell shock at the time. And they just could not engage or interact in the same way that a father would normally. So those children grow up not really knowing how to interact with other children, younger children. Consequently, when they had children, they were detached, or they were a bit lost for what to do or how to interact with a child. This was made worse by the oncoming of the Second World War. Same routine, same thing again, detached fathers, remote from their own children. They wanted to love, but they just didn't know how to do it. They just didn't know how they should be reacting and how they should be responding to their own children. It's so sad. But now we have a situation where the government are deliberately tearing fathers away from the family, deliberately, maliciously accusing them of such most abhorrent things. It's no wonder that fathers are being detached now, because they don't know what they can do and what they can't do. You ask any father now, today, a modern father, whether he can interact the same way that maybe his father interacted, there will be a stark difference. I mean, most of them won't be with the children anyway, because it's the first thing they do is encourage young people to have as many different partners as possible, so that when they get to an age where they're actually wanting children, all the most suitable people and all the best potential partners have been taken. That's so sad, that's very sad. Hoping to build up this channel. If you wouldn't mind subscribing if you haven't done already, clicking a like and click on that bell for notifications for every time a new video is coming out. We intend to do a lot more from now on. I have a list, a pile of papers here where I've got ideas and videos that I want to do. Now that we're winning more cases, I'm more confident in doing these videos. Thanks again.